Hi everyone, it's me, Sailor Neptune, Sailor SeaWorld, Sailor Blue World, I guess, Michelle, and today I'm going to talk about how films getting stuck and filleting bug is back. Yeah, the bug never truly went away. It might have been rare, where it would rarely happen, but it still happens. And no, the bug never truly went away. And no, Euro will never talk about it. Not in their craft or insider films they make on that fairway. They will not talk about it. They don't think they should talk about it. But they know that it's an everyday thing. And if it's not happening to you, it's happening to someone else. Now, there are going to be folks out there who will seek to guilt it on the following things. One, they will guilt it on, they'll say, oh, hit your interweb speed. First off, if that was true, how would your interweb speed have anything to do with your film being filleted or worked on? Wouldn't that have to do with the uploading of your film? At least that's my belief. And no, my interweb speed had nothing to do with it. The next thing that folks might guilt it on is say, oh, it's your sandbox, it's your firewall, it's your evilware stronghold tool. What? Blocking something that I am uploading? No. Most of those things would block things from downloading, like evilware, things like that, right? So if it's coming from your reckoner, then they wouldn't block it. And since it uploaded, it didn't get blocked. So you can't guilt it on the sandbox, firewall, evilware, stronghold tool, on any of its settings, because it never blocks anything from being uploaded. And it was truly not block anything from being filleted. So can't guilt it on those things. And then folks might say, oh, well, somehow your file is bigger than it should be, or your film got filmed slower or faster. First off, I didn't go and shift the settings of how big the file would be. I didn't play around with the file settings. I leave the file settings as is. Same thing with the speed of the film. I'm not shifting how fast or how slow the film is being filmed. So, yeah, that wouldn't be the answer either. And then someone might say, oh, well, your film could have gotten besmirched somehow by the filming tool that you're either through your Y speaker for your reckoner, or your web shooter for your reckoner, or your web shooter from your far speaker. And I guess that's likely. But I would think that would be even more rare. The thing I could truly guilt it on is Euro itself, with its 20-year-old uploader that hasn't been updated in years. It looks almost, yeah. So they become 20 years old. And how do they unlock these 20 years? Yeah, by having films either take too long, either getting films stuck in filleting, which is always shits and giggles for the folks working at Euro, because it's free, they're not answerable for it, and even if they were, they wouldn't be really that good of dealing, wouldn't really be that worth anyway. So, and yeah, it's always some bug on the website that does it. Some glitch in a setup. Tell the truth, that's what it is. Now, we all know that at the end of the day, if it doesn't happen to me, it will happen to others out there. All right? And I hate it when it happens, because there's nothing wrong with the film. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I didn't shift the file settings. I didn't shift the speed settings. I didn't shift it. Whatever it's set to is what it's set to. So, yeah. Then someone out there might say, oh, what if you may have lost your good standing with followership oversight or with ownership or double right? Well, if that was true, which it's not, they would have told me. They would have been really shitty about telling me, but they would have told me. So no, I didn't lose. It had nothing to do with my good standing, with followership oversight, good standing with ownership and double right, which I've been in good standing with for 12 years. You know, so it has none of that. But for whatever grounds, you'll never know. You'll make a film from your web shooter for your reckoner, or your web shooter for your far speaker. You didn't do anything to the settings. You didn't shift how big or how small the file is. You didn't shift how slow or how fast the film will be filmed in. You didn't do anything like that. You didn't go and shift any settings on anything. And sadly, it'll just do it. The website will just say, I don't want to fillet this film. Oh, you made this film in HD. I'm going to have to handicap you for it. Oh, no, you made this film too long. Oh, I'm going to have to fuck around with it. And the longest films that we ever made tend to be the live streams. Are mostly the longest films we ever made, but it doesn't care. It could be a short film. Hell, it could be a long film. It doesn't care. It doesn't care if it's HD or SD. It doesn't care if it's 4K or 10K or whatever. It could really care less. It doesn't care what your running layout is, what your web seeker is, or any of those other shit is. So, yeah, it's back. The irksome bug that's been around for about 20 years, that spent half its 20 years playing around with web shooter tool or film from web shooter, which is around from 2005 YL to 2015 between FYL before it was withdrawed, and now it just started hanging out and playing around with the web with upload, the file uploader that's been around for about 20 years. And it doesn't care. It doesn't care if it's an upload. It doesn't care if it's a short or a podcast. If it's a live stream while it's being streamed live while it's being filmed and filleted all at the same time. So it could care. So it doesn't really fuck around with that. But it's back. And you would think after 20 years they'd make it where it would never or rarely ever happen. But no, they can't do that. And I know there's going to be trolls out there and bullies that will say I have no right to say anything about this because it's a free website. Yes, I get it. It's a free website, but I got the right to bitch and rant when a film gets stuck in filleting. All right? Now I'm going to end this film, and I know everybody else has the same bind that I have too. All right? So give it a like, share and playlist it, and I'll see you later.